pornography, is this a bad thing?
It's a terrible thing. Yeah, it's a terrible thing. Everything about it is terrible.
Really?
Well, first of all, it's addictive, and no wonder. I mean, any 13-year-old boy can now look at more beautiful, naked women in one day than the greatest king who ever lived managed in his whole life.
People that consume pornography, do you think they're less motivated to attack life? And to
Well, they're definitely less motivated to pursue sexual relationships with women.
A way of that, are they then less likely to then want to go to the gym or have a career?
Oh, definitely. In a free and easy mating environment, women don't trust men. And no wonder. Well, here's a terrible thing to know. So imagine that there are men who are oriented towards short-term relationships and there are men who are oriented towards long-term relationships, committed relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that would be the men who want love along with sex, let's say, love and commitment. Then there's the party today because we're all dead tomorrow sort of guys. And there's some women like that too, although fewer women because they pay a much higher price for sexual impropriety.
Mm-hmm.
So the pool of short-term maters has more men in it. Okay, what do they like? Well, the personality studies have already been done. They're Machiavellian, which means they use their language to manipulate. They're narcissistic, which means they want unearned social status. They're psychopathic, which makes them predatory parasites. And they're sadistic. Okay, so now you open up the mating market so that short-term dalliances are acceptable. You throw all the women into the hands of the psychopaths. Well, that's a bad strategy. And it's no wonder that it decimates the mating market because women are thinking, well, are those men trustworthy? And the answer is no. How much of what men do they do to impress women?
A lot.
It's like, yeah, like all of it. All of it. I mean, the status battles that men, back to the law firms, for example. So the men I worked with, they're very concerned with their bonuses and their end of the year performance reports. Why? Well, part of it was the money. Most of them had lots of money. It's like, I'd ask them, they say, well, the money is how we keep score. Well, what does that mean? Well, money is the way that men in those competitive enterprises say they compare themselves to one another. And why do they want to be at the top? Because women peel from the top. And then the net came along. It's like all those engineers who couldn't establish a relationship with an actual woman, exchanging pornography. 25% of internet traffic, something like that? That desire to exchange pornography, was that what created the net? Yeah. Was a huge part of it. What's that done? Well, as you pointed out, I think 30% now of Japanese men and women under 30 are virgins. It's about the same in Korea. Relationships between men and women are falling apart in the rest of the West in the same sort of way. Wait till there are AI-equipped, adjustable pornographic succubi. Then we're really going to have fun. Because we're already at the point now where, with a decent chatbot, a really alienated young man can have a better conversation with a decent chatbot than with anybody he's ever talked to in his entire life. Right, now they're going to get a lot smarter, and soon they're going to have there's already services of this sort available. They'll be fully fleshed out two-dimensional women. They're not women. Simulacra of women, right? She'll give you everything you want, but that's not true. She'll give the worst part of you everything it wants. Jesus, that's not good. The worst, weakest part of you will get exactly what it wants. That's not good. That's seriously not good. Now, can you attribute that to pornography? Certainly part. Like if I was a young woman and I was looking at the pornography world online, I'd think, yeah, maybe not. Well, there's nothing heroic about it, that's for sure. It's like it's obviously nothing to be proud of. That's a different issue than whether or not it's wrong, right?
Yeah.
It's certainly not an accomplishment.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone would disagree about that. It's not an accomplishment. Well, maybe sex is supposed to be an accomplishment. Maybe you violate the spirit of sexuality itself when it's not an accomplishment. You certainly do that if you rape, right? So is it an accomplishment? Probably. So what if your accomplishment is false? Well, then what are you betraying? Well, if it's associated with sex, maybe you're betraying the most fundamental possible thing. It's certainly possible. Like, well, there's life in sex. That's pretty much that, right? You're alive and you reproduce from a biological perspective. And so you're violating the spirit of what? Maybe you're violating the spirit of relationship. Maybe you're violating the spirit of adventure, the spirit of romance, the spirit of reproduction, the spirit of life. Likely, because men are also oriented towards status, competition, victory in a way that women just aren't, at least not in the career domain. And the reason for that is very straightforward. And the thing that makes men, by default, most attractive to women is their comparative success in the hierarchy of men. It's a walloping predictor.